Well, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining me here. Today is November 29th, and everybody in the Great Lakes region is waiting for the big snow to begin. There's a little bit of snow outside now, but could be a lot of snow is coming over the next few days due to something called lake effect snow. So everybody who's on the east side of the Great Lakes, and the wind will blow across the lakes and pick up moisture and drop it as snow. One of those locations is right here where I live, and we could get anything from a foot or two of snow to 1.5 meters of snow. It just depends where these snow streamers go. Here we are again. Better scratching there than elsewhere in my house. That's just a wooden post he's scratching on there. Okay. Now, what about this radio? Holy smokes. It's very late in the morning here, so I don't know how long I really have to work on this. And I haven't given it much thought since the conflagration yesterday. There's a little chip of asbestos here. In which the radio was operating. I was tuning it up, getting it aligned, everything was going along okay. And I then went to adjust the antenna capacitor for the short wave band, and I put in my tool here where it's supposed to go. That's the capacitor there, and I began adjusting it, and it was quite clear it was having a big effect. But within a second or two, I had turned it. The effect, the radio got very strong, and then went and collapsed into nothing, into almost nothing. So that's kind of weird. What would happen? Here's some more asbestos right here. What would happen if you had let's say a vacuum tube or some other part, any part, right on the edge of failure, and it's going to fail in an hour if you just leave it alone, but then you blast it. Could that trigger a failure of something that's right on the edge of failure? And what would that be? What would fail just because of a strong signal coming through? That's what it appeared to be. Tubes come to mind. I'm not clear on why that would cause a failure, but then the tubes are going to fail at some point without much explanation anyway when it happens. So maybe it's a coincidence, or close to a coincidence, or it's that tipping point thing I suggested. Let's operate the radio and see what's happening. And I'm going to put it on the antenna. I'm going to set it up on the antenna. We're just going to play it and see what happens. Okay, let's see what happens here. Now, the odd thing is if the radio works normal, that's bad. I don't want the problem to suddenly disappear and then it's going to reappear at some point in the future. There we go. I have it on the broadcast band. I have a antenna booster here, coil booster, so it's going to get a really good signal. Should perform really well. If I remember, lots of volume and all that. That's full blast. That's just terrible. This volume control is terrible. I think I already sprayed this, didn't I? Didn't I? Okay, that's full volume. Okay, so we're going to disconnect this. That's my lead over to the meter here. No effect. Put it back on. The volume control is connected temporarily by a capacitor. Did that somehow lose its connection? Okay, let's try it out. What's happening there? I don't see that anything's shorting out anywhere. Try another capacitor there. There's a big honker. 0.05, this is about right. Strangely, attaching this seems to reduce the volume a bit. How can that be? It does. It didn't come back. What was that? There's a chance that the clip lead on my capacitor here is not doing the trick anymore. Let me take it out of here. This is just an audio thing. You get more volume now without it attached. So I think again, what we can hear here, coming out of the speaker here, probably leaking through the detector tube. That's my guess of how that works. When the volume's not attached, okay, let's stick this in, just by itself. Ooh. It sounds like the signal is low coming to the volume control, but it can't be sure. So we can monitor the signal level coming to the volume control because we've done it before through this. So I will make a connection there, and I think it's really easy. Everything is set up for it here. Okay, I'll don my own headphones. Plug this in. Volume is, you won't hear this, you shouldn't hear this. Better not hear this. Okay, so what do we hear? Turn it up.
Like, not really. I mean, I don't really have anything planned out. What I want,
It's all there.
doctor, but like, but I don't know how I'm gonna get there, and like things can change, like when and stuff. So.
Well, listen, when I was your age, I wanted to be a lawyer. God, I think the world is better off with me not being a lawyer. John,
Yeah.
what about you? Do you float like floats?
Okay, signal seems to be present at the input to the volume control. Does not seem to be present beyond the volume control. Volume control is acting up badly. Problem is the volume control. We can skip the volume control and take the signal directly from the radio, just like I'm doing here. Only do it right into the amplifier. That would result in a really loud thing. I don't know if that's a good idea. That could be tremendously loud. To be like without control, without the volume control. So the volume control resistance is something like 500. I'm going to take a peek here. Just taking a quick peek. Volume control resistance 500,000 ohms. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a little volume control up. Yeah, I think I'll do that. I have heard in the past from viewers that they enjoy looking in my drawers and seeing my junk. So I'm pretty sure they mean this kind of thing. So here's some volume controls that I have managed to collect over the years, and some of these are rather unusual. Look at these ones here. This looks like a push button. No, it's a volume, a potentiometer of some sort. All this here. So these are all stereo guys here. Okay, I don't need a stereo one. Okay, here. These containers are, if you haven't read it already, B-side Marios. Yeah, got some spaghetti in here or something originally, but they're good drawers for this kind of stuff. So lots of controls in here. These little guys. Now there's two things here if I'm thinking about. One is what's a switch? It's not a volume control. It should be in my switch box. One is the temporary setup just to do a test and find out if the volume control really is a problem. And the other one is permanent replacement. This is a 5,000, so I really need a 500,000. It's quite common. 500,000. The other challenge here, if you're going to replace one of these, is the shaft has to be the right length. And you can buy these, like here's one here. Well, this one. You can buy them. They come with a long shaft, and then you just cut the shaft back. Hey, is this a 500? It's got a switch on it too. Ooh, what is it? You should have it stamped in the side here. KR1. That's not going to help. But this is a possibility. I forgot. If you end up replacing this, and this guy is full of the whiskers. Yes, they're tin whiskers. Okay, so and it could be whiskered inside quite badly. So this is a potential replacement right here, if it's 500 ohms, 500,000 ohms. There. Again, they're not saying what the resistance is on it, just another one with a switch. Oh, these all have switches. This is my selection of controls with switches. I have that one already. Okay, so that's what's here. What I'll do is I'll just get an ohm meter out and test this, and this one, see if it is 500. Look at this guy. Woo. That's an old one there. That's another one with a huge shaft on it. Centralab. Remove this label to attach line switches. Doesn't want to say. Here's another heavy duty guy here. Is this a wire one? Ooh. Whatever it is, I don't think it's any good. Well, we just need one again. Didn't I have one that said 500 on it? 1.5 thousand. Same thing. Oh, it says 500. Anybody at all? 5K. Oh, what's this one? This one is. Well, that's just a serial number of some sort. No value. Okay, well, I'm going to poke around here. I'm going to find one that's 500. You've probably seen enough of my junk already. I'll find one that is 500 ohms. 500,000 ohms, not 500. And we'll temporarily connect it into the radio and see what happens. Okay, we've got a volume control ready to go. The resistance here is 800,000 ohms. The one that's in there is 500,000 ohms. I've cut the wire leading to the one in there, so this is the volume control now for the radio. But look in my drawers some more. These These are all slider volume controls. What is this? That's one whopper of a... Okay. Good for me to look in these things once in a while. What do we got here? We have volume control parts. Shells. Let's see inside the resistive material there. Milwaukee Central Lab. That's the on-off switch there. Okay, this is my last one. Okay, in case you don't like looking at my junk, look away. These are pretty interesting. Look at that. Wow, you can control 4 stereos from one knob here. 2 knobs. Here's another big honker. These go in European radios, Nordmendi's. These are all Nordmendi stuff. Okay, there you go. That's my junk. Okay, now let's try this radio. Where did that come from? Okay, double checking now. So we have the center terminal connected to the terminal that receives the... That's correct. This is the input side. This is the input side. So if this is the input side, it would be the same the way it was done on that volume control. So that's going to be down. That makes sense. And this would be loud. We'll turn it. Whoops. It has an on-off switch, but of course it's not connected. So we'll just leave this turned down. The extra resistance in here, it's either going to make the volume control faster or slower. I don't know. Okay, let's, what am I doing here? I'm going to turn the power on, that's what I'm doing. And the set, still have a voltmeter handy if I care to use it. So the idea of this is we are proving without a doubt whether the original volume control is working or not, or it's the cause of the problem. You know, considering a loud sound seemed to make something fail, maybe the volume control was that knife edge thing, and I don't know, because, you know, volume control, like, can't you just turn it and get it to reconnect again? Okay, oh, I still have this on. That's good, actually. Let me put the headphones on. Let's make sure the radio's operating. Okay, I'll turn up the volume over here.
That's what a Prime Minister is supposed to say.
Yeah.
Not capitulate at the first instance of a threat. The one thing that I think everybody knows but periodically forgets is Donald...
Yeah, Donald who? I wonder who he's talking about. Yeah, the only topic here is... Yes. The only topic in Canada is yes. Oh, no use wearing the headphones now. Okay. What do you do, radio?
Carefully, down from the microphone he said. He's all right. First time about Canada first. That, I think, was his way of introducing himself to Donald Trump, because you know that was intended for Donald Trump to see.
Absolutely, and I 100% agree with Warren. I mean, Trudeau is not Trump's guy. Poilievre is a master communicator. You know, in comparison, anyone is better than Trudeau. But this isn't really a fight about relationships. It's really, I believe,
I'm listening.
A precursor to July 1st, 2026, when CUSMA, Kuzma came...
So in Canada we have what's called a minority government. Minority government means no political party. We have 4 or 5 political parties. 3 of them are significant parties in our parliament. And with a minority government, that means no party has a majority of seats. So the party with the most seats can organize government if it can. It's a little complicated. If they can convince the Governor General that they've got enough people on board that they can win some votes in Parliament. So usually they do that. The party with the most seats goes to the next party, or one that it has some kind of relationship with, and says, hey, can we work a deal, and together we'll govern. But it's not really together. It's not really together. And that's what happened here in Canada. One of the parties said, hey, yeah, we'll support you. We'll support you for a few years. Get your stuff done. Just do these things. We want you to do these things. So that's what's going on in Canada. So the government can fall at any time in our system if the government of the day, in this case a minority government, puts forward a bill and the Parliament does not pass the bill, then it's a question of whether the Parliament trusts the government anymore, and the whole thing could fall. There's a particular bills that are called confidence bills, and when they come into Parliament, if a minority government fails to win a vote, they're done. That's over. The election's called immediately, and well, you know, proceeds right away after that. So that's what's happening in Canada with its government. It's getting long in the tooth. We had a minority government for a fair length of time now, which is very unusual. And the parties that are out of power are beating the drums a little bit. But because of what's happening in the United States, I think it's having a paralyzing and confusing effect on everybody here in Canada, where what are we going to do? What are we going to do? That kind of thing's going on. So anyway, I don't know why I'm giving you a speech on this, but you're probably American. There's a 50% chance you're an American watching this, and you should be interested in what's happening inside Canada and Mexico as your country goes through its lurches. Yeah, you should be interested. Mexico, Canada, big trading partners, big gigantic trading partners with your country. You know, just I won't say any more. I will say some more. So I complained a couple of videos ago about YouTube's or the American government beginning to tax me. So I was pretty upset. Since then, I've calmed myself down, got myself organized, investigated the situation, and found out that the tax form that I completed some months ago has been updated. And news to me, news to everybody. What was one category is now 3 categories. If you check off the one category, you get taxed. You have to pull this document up. It's called a WBEN. If you're a YouTube maker, you might know about this. If you're not in the States, anyway, WBEN form. YouTube makes it really easy. Complete that. Complete the 3 sections, and claim Canada has a tax treaty with the United States where we will not tax each other over the border in these kinds of circumstances. We'll just let the home country collect the taxes and keep them in that, and that's the agreement. And so chances are very good the money that currently got removed from my YouTube income, and we're not talking about a lot of money here, it's not a lot of money, will probably show up in my bank account next month, now that I've redone those forms. So if you're a YouTube maker, you heard me whining and complaining before, you might be wondering what is going on. If you're outside of the United States, you must complete American tax forms. And in the case of Canada, we can refer to a tax agreement. I think that's probably true of many countries, have tax agreements and this sort. Anyway, okay, enough of that. Talk. Okay, so volume control shot. I think that's it for today, actually. I don't think I'm gonna think about how to make this volume control work again, because replacing it is a problem. Even though I've got a pretty suitable one here, it's even got a switch on the back. I just as soon make that one work again. So is it because of the tin whiskers, the tin crystals that have formed? They're on the outside, they're on the inside. Can you take something like that all apart and clean it all up and put it all back together? I don't know. Well, anyway, thanks a lot for walking. Thanks a lot for watching, and sorry that I started ranting at the end there, but I'm just a human being here. So tomorrow we'll deal with this volume control, get the radio going again, and then finish off the alignment, finish off the radio. Wow, this radio's had a lot of work done to it in the end. See ya.